Welcome back to the Golden Hour. I am Golden Duffy, your host, and I am super excited today. I have some announcements. I have some fun things going on that I want you to be a part of. So I am feeling inspired to get back into my group coaching. There's been a lot of things happening that is calling me back. One thing in particular I will share is I have had a lot of issues recently, health issues, that you may or may not know about. I had shingles a couple months ago, woke up with them at my daughter's wedding. And then about 3 weeks ago, I actually had an appendicitis attack and ended up having an appendectomy. So yes, I went in for surgery 3 weeks ago. So I've been really contemplating and really questioning. And the interesting thing about our health journey and our body journey is that when we aren't listening, there will be things that will happen that will kind of put us down so we can listen. So that's what happened. I had shingles. I was still running around like crazy. Had a lot of commitments that wouldn't allow me to really be sick or to give in to, a period of rest. So, hello, here comes an appendectomy where I absolutely have no choice but to lay around for pretty much 2 straight weeks. So I went into kind of a research mode, investigating what was going on, because the interesting thing is they both occurred on the same side of my body. So on the left side of my abdomen was where my shingles presented, and my back. And then that was the only place I actually got any kind of like reaction. And then the appendectomy is also on the left side in the same exact spot that I had shingles. So no accident there. So that basically is your left side of your body is your spiritual side. So when you continue to injure it or when you have health issues, your spiritual side is really calling to you. And I think that's why I needed to be put down for a little bit and really needed to, do some real investigating about my life. Like, what am I doing? Am I too much in my humanness of, creating business and creating commerce with our MDC construction services? And am I totally ignoring my mission and why I'm here on this earth, which is very much for the spiritual reason of sharing light with people, helping people remember who they are and helping people remember the power they have to create. So through that time of compressing, right, I don't like to call things depressing, because even though I was quiet, there were days that I just laid on the couch and let myself watch TV, and it would appear I would present as being depressed just because I wasn't like my hope, big happy self that most people are used to. It was a compression. I was going within. I was seeking for answers. I was got back to meditating very strongly. I'm actually in a really strong download situation. I came out of that and the downloads were just really intense. And next thing that I need to create is this circle. So it's the Golden Hour Circle, the Golden Hour Manifestation Circle. And that's going to be where we come together once a month. There's teachings, there's guided meditations, there's writing prompts, the whole kit and caboodle. It's, something that I feel very strong to lead right now, because I do believe there's a lot of low, dense frequencies going on. If you pay attention to like the world stage, there's a lot of low, dense frequencies. So this is about raising our vibration, raising our frequency. And I am bringing in the interior design part, which I have never done before, like interior design, right? Like the design of the interior of our mental capacity and what we bring into the human and spiritual perspective, but also your home, where you live, where you work, your office. I am very much about being in a space that facilitates and supports your growth. If you are living in a home that's cluttered, there's a lot of stuff, there's a lot of unused stuff, there's a lot of old energy, that it really is it's going to impede your growth and your progress, because all of that old energy is just going to kind of keep you in those lower frequencies. So we're going to have assignments that have to do with, creating the best space of your home. I'm going to literally look at rooms. If you want to send me, pictures or videos of your room, and I'm going to help you design them and create spaces that feel better, that flow better, because when energy is flowing, then it makes it easier for us to be creators in the world. So there's going to be that component that I've never shared before. So this is in the show notes will be the link. And if you have trouble connecting with my Stripe link, just message me, livelifegolden@gmail, and ask me to send you directly the link. I can do that. $39 a month. That's all it is. Subscription based. You can cancel at any time. Super easy canceling process. Not anything that's going to be, painful, but you're not going to want to cancel. That's the thing. You're going to want to keep going. We're going to want to keep going because this is a community that's going to be built on empowerment and strength and high frequency and high vibration, to the point where you will start manifesting what you've been wanting to do for a really long time. So it doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter how stuck you feel. All of those things, we're going to shatter the belief systems that are facilitating the stuckness or the low vibrational frequencies. So I'm really super excited. And this is going to start on July 20th, 2026. If you're listening to this after, you're going to be able to jump in the group whenever, as long as it's going on, you'll be able to jump into it and it'll be the same link. I don't know if I'll keep the price at $39 the same, or if it'll increase or decrease depending on what happens. But for now, $39 feels really doable for most people. And it feels like that's the kind of energetic exchange that will facilitate a big group of people coming together. The idea of this is collaboration. So collaboration is the new currency, is one of my favorite things that I heard from, it's actually Brandon Dawson who says it. The reason why I love the idea of collaboration is I can't do this on my own. Like, the information that comes through me is based on your desire, on your wanting, on your asking, what you're asking for. That's what happens when you connect with someone who's a channel. I mean, we're all channels, and I'm going to even have ways for you to connect with your own channel in this group. But because you're relying on my channel needs to connect with your channel in order to bring through the releases and the writing prompts and all the things, the guided meditations that we'll experience together. So we'll come together as a group once a month. There'll be a short teaching. There'll be a Q&A. There might even be an extra Q&A throughout the month. I'm feeling pretty good about that, just doing like a Q&A. There will be some, this is coming through, but like some caps on how long someone can be in a Q&A situation with me, so that we won't feel like someone's like dominating the time. That's super important to me. And the energy is going to be super clean. So there'll be intentions that are set in the beginning before I even get on to, facilitate the energy being really clear and focused and really super valuable. So tell your friends, tell your family, anyone who is looking to up level in certain ways and doesn't know how, or anyone who has maybe dived into law of attraction or is really interested in law of attraction and really doesn't understand how it works. This is going to be very simple. It's going to be a very simplified way to read energy in your life, so that you know exactly the steps that you need to take to move your life forward, or to, take those leaps of faith. There's going to be definite connection to creating leaps of faith, because I think many people just stay in this place, and in order for them to get to the next place, there's a leap of faith that has to happen. So as an example of that, when we were living in Connecticut and wanting to move to California, we had come out to California on a scouting trip to see where we wanted to live, to feel the energy, to make sure that this was really where we wanted to be. And got a resounding hell yes when we were here, and really felt like we were Californians already, but also felt like we didn't make any connections. Like the thought of moving somewhere without a house, without a job, just felt so daunting and so dangerous and like irresponsible. Like, we have kids, like our kids are going into high school and middle school, and what if we land in the wrong place? And there's all these questions. But nothing lined up. And because nothing lined up, we stayed the same for a little while. It was like September until I think February was when we finally made the decision to do this massive leap of faith, which basically is booking plane tickets, selling everything we owned, finding out how to ship our car, figure out what we're going to bring, and just creating this energy that sends a message to the universe that says, please, send us support, send us miracles, send us confirmation that we're doing the right thing. And time after time after time, things like that happened. And if you haven't read my book, which is underneath my computer right now, I don't even have it here, Mindful Manifestation Secrets, the whole story is in there. And you can even go back to, I think it's episode 11, where I kind of lay out this whole leap of faith that we made and what happened and now, where we are today. So there will be discussions of leaps of faith, and there will be promotion of that between the community, like how the community supports you in your leaps of faith and gives you the advice that you need to, get over the fears, like to really not let the fears be part of your experience anymore, as far as you may always have those thoughts of fear, but that they're not the things that actually, make you do or not do things. So it's dissipating that fear through energy release work, through writing prompts, through getting, facing the fear. Because anytime we face our fear, it's going to dissipate. So I don't want this show to totally be about the Golden Circle Manifestation monthly group, but I do really want to prompt you to join me, because this is a very, very interesting time. This is an interesting time where there's a lot of low frequency that we can participate in. And there's a lot of information out there. There's so much information out there that I feel like we get confusion. We get paralyzed by all the information. We get excited about something. We start doing it that way. Then we find it's like this shiny objects are all around us. So there's no focus. So this group primarily is going to be about focus. And I want to talk about focus today in such a way that you start to understand that your focus is the most powerful thing that you have. Your focus and your attention. And if you don't feel like your focus and your attention is up to you because maybe you work a lot or you've got a lot of people, that you need to support or anything like that, I promise you that you can carve out a little bit of your day to be focused and determined about what your dreams are. And the cost of you not doing that is to flip years and years of your life and to consistently stay the same, which you never do. But your circumstances may look the same. You may keep recreating them in different ways. Like if poverty is something like survivalism, like not feeling abundant, if that's has been part of your path, let's break free from that. Let me give you the tools to break free from that. I have a whole abundance challenge that I've done with people to help tune them into a different frequency. This whole circle is going to be mapped around. This is a design. It's a blueprint for your most desired life, right? Your dream life blueprint. It's going to be about raising the frequency every day. So that's what this whole energetic, universal support, collaboration that's coming through is about. Coming together, supporting one another, and having the right information, the right energy release so that you can step into who you really are. And then there's an element of, there's focus, right? Focus and attention is what creates, right? Your focus and attention. What you focus on expands. That's a big part of manifestation. And how you focus is even more important, because if you're focused on all of your problems, you're not focused on your solutions. So the problems continue to expand. So this teaches you, it's shifting into the focus of solution. So instead of being in the problem, you start asking yourself, what can I do about it? That's a great question. So I'm going to give you great questions to ask, the right questions to ask to create and connect with new perspectives. So focus and attention. It's going to be about protecting your focus and attention, which means maybe unfollowing some things, maybe deleting some social media apps, maybe just taking a break from the news if that's what you're doing. I doubt you're listening to me if you listen to the news, but I do know people that are just still really committed to knowing what's going on that lower level surface human experience that the news tells you is happening, which might actually not be happening. Okay, so focus and attention, and then it's all about honing that focus, but also letting go. So the whole idea of letting go, the art of letting go, is about allowing. So it's a little bit of a surrender, right, to what's happening, like an acceptance of what's happening. And then it's asking the right questions as you're letting go. But literally, everything that I've seen in me stepping into a new space within myself, growing spiritually, growing through these illnesses and all of this stuff, it all boils down to focus and attention and letting go. Letting go of who I used to be, which was that person who freaked out when a bill came that was unexpected, or that person who looked out and saw the worst case scenario, who talks about their fears, who tells people about those problems. It's all a letting go of that victimhood and powerlessness and unworthiness. That's the biggest shift that will be made in this community together. So if you're listening to this podcast and you are interested in how to do that in your life, and maybe the circle is not calling to you, I would say go through my episodes because there's lots of information there. And I also would say, start asking yourself, what do I really want? What do I really want to manifest? Because much of manifestation is about clarity. And if we don't have clarity about what we want, then we'll continue to have this murky manifestation energy going towards things that really doesn't break down and become physical matter. So what do I really want is a great question to ask. Like, if I could have whatever I wanted about this situation to manifest in the most optimal way, what would it be? And then I would say even up level it even further. What, like, no limitations, what would it be? And then you start identifying with that person who is experiencing that as if it happened 3 months ago. So when you're visualizing, first of all, you don't visualize and see yourself as a person in the movie like you're watching yourself. You actually look through your own eyes. I've shared this before. This is identity creation at its finest. It's seeing the car keys in your hand. Or one thing I keep doing right now, because we're actually in the process of manifesting a new house after being in our house for 9 years. And there's a timeline that I really would love it to be at. So I keep seeing the keys in my hand, and I keep seeing the door, and the door is a Dutch door, because I've always wanted a Dutch door, and that feels like beach town to me, Dutch door kind of a thing. So I keep seeing that Dutch door. I keep seeing my hand in the keys and turning the lock, but walking into the home as if I've lived there for a couple of months. Maybe I'm getting ready for a party that, like an open house kind of party, because I've been there and I'm settled and all my pictures are on the wall and everything's decorated just exactly the way I want it. So it's taking yourself past, because what happens when we visualize and we put it way out here, right? Like we put it 5 years, we see ourselves 5 years from now or 10 years from now, or we think someday, we are putting our manifestation out there. So what if it already happened? Because what happens with your brain, with your mind, when it thinks of a memory, it doesn't question if that memory happened because you already experienced it. So if you treat your visualizations like a memory, like something that already happened, you move the timeline faster. You energetically connect a lot faster. So that's what we're looking to do. We're looking to manifest and move energy quickly and really experience a life of joy. So that means your relationships are in place. Remember, we talked about, I don't know if you listened to the show many months ago. Sorry, my nose is itchy. Many months ago when I talked about the prosperity pie, this very much is encompassing this prosperity pie idea, which is finances, career, relationships, health, spirituality. There's 8 of them, so I have to remember. There's 3 more, but I'm going to encompass all of them, I promise, and help you to get each area of your life dialed in and aligned with what you say you want to be, who you say you want to be. So if it's creating more abundance, if it's creating better health, I mean, these are all things that we all want, right? Like we want great relationships. We want a really dialed in spiritual connection. We want to be able to trust our intuition. We want to have great health, right? Like if you're not experiencing great health, then it's dialing into what are the reasons why you're not experiencing health. And so I would say pretty much all of the time, your health is just connected to your emotions and connected to your beliefs. And, you know, because our body is designed, if you do any study of epigenetics, our body is designed as a healing mechanism and recreates itself like every couple of days. Nothing should be chronic. Nothing should be chronic. And if you do have a chronic condition, there's a belief system underneath that that I would like to help you shatter. So, in that perspective, clarity is the most important when you're looking to manifest. And then it's digging into the why. Why do I want that? So when I first started this whole manifestation study, I really got super into the science of it. And I also got really into the materialism of it, which I think is kind of designed when you first get into manifesting. It's like, oh, I want stuff, right? I want to be rich and I want stuff. I want to be a millionaire. I want to drive nice cars. I want to have luxury. I want all those things, right? But because that's so superficial, and because we've actually watched a lot of celebrities and very wealthy people and their lives, we know that that is just a surface, and it's not really going to supply you with purpose and a real foundation of joy. So we want to get to the bottom of that, and we want to make sure that all of your manifestations and everything that you're calling in is really in your highest and best, because we could think all day long that we want something and there's a certain place that we want to live and it's the best for us, but it might be the worst for us. And that's why it doesn't manifest. So there's a spiritual undertaking here that happens where we step into a foundation of very strong faith, where we see that even the disappointments, even the things, the rejections, we always say rejection is protection. So if somebody doesn't choose you to do something, you are actually being protected from a situation that really wasn't in your highest and best. That's going to be formulated by being in this group and starting to see things happen, starting to see the miracles happen, starting to have and build on your own evidence that creates the confidence that helps you to live life more fully. Hold on. So that will be a big part of that manifestation path, that dream blueprint path that's going to help you to connect with your truth, who you are. This whole idea that I have is really built on the foundation of remembering who you are. And it's connecting with that piece of yourself that you may have felt disconnected with forever. You may have had glimpses of it throughout your life, but it is that part of yourself that goes beyond the illusion of this reality. It helps you to see that there are forces. There are forces at your back. There are forces of support. I have had some of the most mind-blowing, miraculous things happen that I have no doubt are part of a story that is still very much unfolding. It's very much unfolding. And even though I've had to step away these last couple of years and compress, right? Like go within and find out what is the next logical step for me, I have in no way, shape, or form lost my passion for helping people to see who they really are. And in fact, I feel like it's been reinvigorated by taking that time to really look at what I'm doing and start stepping back into the passion of creating and sharing these things that are just so empowering and so freeing that you don't have to live this life that is just where you're pushed around all the time, where you feel like you don't have a say. Even the randomness stuff, the random stuff that happens in life, like appendicitis or shingles, right? Even that stuff, like I can track it back to how I was feeling. I can track it back to what I'm needing, right? What I'm needing to heal from, what I'm being called to, the whole thing can be tracked. So when you can do that, you can see a pattern and a foundation of support there that is just really getting you to look at your spirit, really getting you to like live from your spirit. So there's a whole remembering process that I am inviting you to. I'm absolutely inviting you to, because if not, what's the alternative? The alternative is to live a life that is less than. The alternative is to live a life where you're fearful and victimized and powerless, and you don't really have a say in what's happening. You're just basically living on default mode where your mind is in charge, your fears are in charge, your wounds are in charge, and you're not allowing yourself to be the most powerful creator. And you're not allowing like the full potential that this life experience gives us, which is massive. This potential is massive. Like you can see it everywhere. I see abundance, expansion, growth, excitement, drive. I see it all as this incredible thing that we can tune into. You know, it's like a stream. It's like a river, a really strong, raging river that we all get to like hop on a boat and just ride. Because when you start to initiate with the flow of life, and trust me, I just came off like the hardest 8 or 9 months of my life from the time before I moved. Like literally just so challenging, so stressful, so faith building, we'll call it, because you know, when you're in the middle of it, you're just so heavy and so dense, and you're like, I can't even see how this is going to work out. And then through the constant reminders, through the constant questioning, through the constant introspection, like going in, I just refuse to believe that there is any losing in this situation. Like we are here to win. We were born to win. And by win, I mean expand, grow, become more, experience this life from like an adventurer. Like we're adventurers on this life discovery. So why wouldn't we want to live it to the fullest? Why wouldn't we? I mean, if you're here, if you're listening to me, you absolutely do. It's a hell yes. Hell yes, I want to experience all those things. I want the great relationships. I want the great health. I want the amazing and beautiful place to live, the beautiful home. I want the abundance. I want to feel freedom. I want to feel supported. I want to know, right? Well, the only way to experience that is to align with it now. And how do you do it when you don't have it in the physical yet? That's what I'm going to teach you. That's what I'm going to teach you, because that's some of my favorite stuff to teach. So July 20th is when we start. You can email me at livelifegolden at Gmail. I don't know if there's actually a way for me to put a link up here. I actually don't think that if I did, clicking it would even work. So I'm going to put the link in the show notes. You can go directly to my Stripe, or you can message me and I'll send it to you. So I'm very, very excited about this next year. I have lots planned for the podcast. Getting back into the commitment of it, stepping back into my health is definitely going to help. But I would love to do the show once again, weekly or bi-weekly, because I feel like this is the time. Like I don't have a lot of doubt that we're at a very specific time in history where we could go either way. You know, we can either go into powerlessness and victimhood and forgetting again, or we can facilitate an even stronger foundation and remembering the power of who we are and showing ourselves that it doesn't matter what is happening. You have the power to manifest the next moment. And that's what's important. And when you let go and you release yourself from those old belief systems that say, I'm not good enough, or I'm not powerful enough, or this thing is bigger than me or stronger than me, you actually facilitate your faith in a stronger way. And when your faith is super strong, literally nothing can touch you. There's no more anxiety. There's no more fear. I mean, the fear, do I have fear show up still? Absolutely. It just doesn't have the same power over me because it's a lie, right? False evidence appearing real. That's what fear is. So I know this. And logically, my mind would love to spin me out on many subjects right now, but it's not going to get a chance. It's not going to have a chance because I'm here for a specific reason. I'm here to help people remember who they are. And I can't be in survival mode if that is my MO here. I have to be fully grounded, fully powerful, and I have to share that power with everyone and anyone I can. You know, I've seen, and I don't know if you're listening right now, this person in particular, but I have seen someone go from alcohol addiction and drugs and homelessness and, coming out of an insane asylum when he was young and believing that he was the worst person in the world and isolated and alone to becoming employed, working hard, getting a home, becoming a father for the second time, staying in a relationship, quitting alcohol, and now I feel becoming an inspiration. So I have seen this with my very own eyes, and I am so deeply proud of this person. But this person shows us the potential. It doesn't matter how bad it is, that you have the power to create. You have the power to give up alcohol or drugs or anything that is holding you back. And that's the beauty of us connecting. That's the beauty of us coming together in a group to empower one another and remind each other who we are. You know, your belief systems were created by the time you were 5 to 7 years old. And because of that, you may not have those core foundational beliefs that say, I can do this. I am powerful. I am smart. I am capable. And all of those things are things that I am bringing to your table for you to become a part of because I believe in you. I absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, believe in your potential because I can see it. I can see it. I can see it in every person. I see every person's light. I see every person's potential. And that's why being a part of this group will be so impactful for you because you will have someone on your team who sees you for who you really are and helps you to shed those belief systems that keep you from really stepping into that. So join me July 20th, 2026. Doesn't matter even what date it is now. If you can connect with me, my Instagram actually has the Stripe in it as well. Live Life Golden is my Instagram, and that has the Stripe link in my bio. But yeah, come with me, join me. I think this is going to be one. This is something that I'm being called to that feels larger than life right now. It feels larger than anything I've ever done in my whole life. This feels it. Because it's about community, collaboration, empowerment, strength, faith, trust, all the things that get me so excited. And it's giving you the tools and the blueprint to design your life exactly the way it was meant to be. Because you wouldn't have those desires if you didn't have the capability of manifesting them. And that's it. All right, that's my show for today. I love you all, and I will see you sooner than later. Peace.